What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today we're talking about how my life continues to be a mystery wrapped inside a riddle, wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. I've been practicing this line that was written like 3 different ways. That version is Joe Pesci and JFK, and then Winston Churchill said it different, and somebody else said, I can't keep this shit straight. The point is that my life continues to be a bizarro paradox. So, as you can see from the title, we're talking about Trenbolone again today. Those of you who've been following my channel know that I have increased my Trenbolone dose to 300 milligrams per week, and it has wreaked, I hate English, havoc on my sleep cycle. Like, it's a disaster, guys. Like, it's totally out of fucking control. Some days I can go to sleep at a reasonable hour, around 2:30 in the morning. Sometimes I'm up until 6:30, as late as 8 o'clock in the morning, then sleep for 4 hours, then get up and be wide awake for the rest of the day, go to the gym, kill a workout, come home, get 6 hours of sleep, get up, go back to the gym. One night I came home after only getting 6 hours of sleep the night before, fell asleep with my wife at 2:30, woke up at 5 a.m., couldn't go back to sleep, total disaster. So to try to combat this sleep problem, I've been using a variety of sedatives and sleep drugs. So I was already on Xanax at 0.35 milligrams per day, and I was taking Ambien at 10 milligrams per day. So I tried upping the Xanax to 0.5 milligrams per day and keeping the Ambien at 10, no luck. Then I got a hold of Zopiclone, which I mentioned in a video. So I added an entire new Z drug into the mix at 7.5 milligrams per day. And the first night that I took the Zopiclone, I thought I had found the solution because it put me to sleep. And so the problem with the Zopiclone is that it's very mind altering. So like, if I take, like, for example, last night is a perfect example, which is what this entire video is about. I was feeling pretty tired. My wife and I just finished up with sex, which we usually do late in the night. And so we're usually having like our little after sex chat, you know, going over what worked, what didn't work. In my life, every time we have sex, there's a debriefing. It's really what happens, basically. We literally have sex, and then I debrief her to some degree on various things about the act and how can I improve this or that. This is a never-ending science experiment around here, guys. So we're going through our debriefing, and this is generally when I will take my Z drugs so that they have some time to kick in, and then the idea is that we will go to sleep together. Well, on the Ambien alone, if the Ambien fails, it just fails completely. So if I take 10 milligrams of Ambien and it doesn't put me to sleep, I can just go about my normal daily life and I don't feel it at all. Like, I don't feel altered at all. I have perfectly good memory. Like, I don't have the amnesia that I used to suffer, retrograde amnesia that I suffered when I first started taking the drug. It's gotten to the point where sometimes I honestly think that the only thing that it's doing, I've been on it for over 2 decades. So sometimes I think, especially on Tren, that the only thing that it's actually doing is just staving off withdrawal symptoms. Like, it's really not putting me to sleep. And so the Zopiclone was helping, but like I said, if I take the Zopiclone and then it doesn't work, it doesn't put me to sleep, and I try to get up and play like Diablo 4. A couple times I've thought about coming in here and shooting a video, try to do it quietly while my wife is sleeping. The Zopiclone, it negatively affects my psyche or whatever, my consciousness enough that I can't read. Like, I was trying to play Diablo on it, and I just kept, I was just slurred, you know, like just not really worried. I mean, I can't sleep, but I also can't function. And so it's just this miserable state that can last 3, 4, 5 hours, you know. I've tried getting a full stomach, checking my blood sugar. I've tried everything in the world to try to combat this sleep problem. And so The other night, I was just kind of fucking pissed off, you know? Like, I couldn't sleep. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was sitting here playing Diablo 4, listening to music. And I was like, fuck it, man. I'm just going to stay awake. So I go into the kitchen and I get a Red Bull. 12-ounce Red Bull. And I just start, you know, sipping Red Bull while I'm playing Diablo 4. And about halfway through the can, I started getting tired. And I was like, this is weird. But it's not unheard of. So I have this thing that's been going on for some time now, which is also really weird, where first thing in the morning I will wake up and I'll have like a 12-ounce Red Bull or a 24-ounce Monster or two cups of coffee with hot cocoa in it. I can consume anywhere between 160 to 200 milligrams of caffeine immediately upon waking up and go back to sleep, like hard. Like I usually when I wake up in the morning, I don't really want to get out of bed. I wake up because my brain spins up. So I'll wake up because like I hear a noise, or my wife is going in and out of the bedroom taking care of my daughter, or I have to get up to go to the bathroom, and then I lay back down and then my brain just spins up and I just have like these invasive thoughts. And I can't get back to sleep. And that's what happens at night. Like, I can take all these Z drugs and my body does not want to get out of bed. There's no part of me that wants to get up and move around the house. But I just cannot stop the flow of thoughts. One thing that I tried for a long time was trying to engage the limbic system. Because it's not like, limbic system is not like front brain, deep analytical thought. So I discovered that if I lay in bed next to my wife and I fantasize about sex with her, that it would put my brain, it would kind of shift gears out of this very analytical brain and get me over into this kind of like limbic system, and it would lull me to sleep. And so that has worked in the past as a way to try to go to sleep at night. Like I'll just have, you know, I'll just think dirty thoughts. That's actually where I did a video titled, "Would you gangbang your wife if you cloned yourself?" And that's actually where that thought process came from. I was laying in bed one night trying to sleep, and I was concocting these fantasies trying to get into limbic mode so that I could sleep, and that's just one of the things that popped out. Of course, then I couldn't sleep because then I'm laying there like, I'm gonna make a video about this. I wonder if anybody else has thought about this. And so, sorry about that stoppage. This time it wasn't my battery that died. I have been shooting so much content, I filled the fucking memory card. So anyway, what I was saying is that I have invasive thoughts of all kinds of crazy shit, and it will just keep me from going to sleep. So the other night, I'm sitting out here playing Diablo. I start drinking a Red Bull because I've now committed to just staying up as long as possible and try to rotate my schedule. No sooner does the caffeine start kicking in than I start feeling tired. And so I finished the entire 12-ounce Red Bull thinking this has got to be in my head, and I keep trying to play Diablo and I can't fucking do it. Like I'm falling asleep at my desk. So I go in there, get in bed, straight to sleep. Slept like a fucking baby. Woke up the next morning, I told my wife, I was like, it's the weirdest thing, man. Like last night I was stuck up all night, and I drank a Red Bull, and it put me to sleep. And she's like, I don't know, maybe it's your ADHD. You know, like maybe the caffeine quieted your brain, and it wasn't enough caffeine to really stimulate you because you're already dead tired and you got a brain full of Z drugs. And the caffeine just worked to quiet those invasive thoughts. It's like, okay, maybe, you know, I can see the reasoning in that. But again, so then the next night, you know, I'm struggling to sleep again, and it's just so counterintuitive, right? Like when you're laying there in bed and you're doing every, you know, fucking meditating, counting sheep, thinking about clone sex with your wife, like whatever crazy, I'm doing everything I can to just try to go to bed. The most counterintuitive thing in the world is, hey, maybe I should get up and drink a fucking Monster energy drink. So last night, again, it happens again. I'm laying there, I'm trying all the tricks of the trade. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. We just had our sexual debriefing. I've taken one Ambien only because I'm convinced that I'm not going to be able to go to sleep, and I don't want all of the negative effects of the Zopiclone. So I laid there for like 10 minutes and I started trying to fantasize about clone sex. and I couldn't even stay on it. My brain's bouncing around so much that I start trying to think. I try to start shifting into limbic mode, and then it's like, well, I wonder what people thought about my religion video. Not a lot of people watch the religion video. I think if they had actually clicked the video, I think they prejudged the title. Well, it's like just crazy, just running thoughts. And so I was like, this is a disaster. I'm just not gonna do this anymore. So I got up, came in here, sat down, started playing Diablo, put my headphones on, and I was like, fuck it. Let's just try it again. You know, like, let's just test it. So I go in the kitchen, I get a 12-ounce Red Bull. I got halfway through that can, and I was falling asleep at my keyboard. Went right into the bedroom, laid down, and I was dead to the world inside of a couple of fucking minutes. So I'm making this video to find out, like, am I the only one with this bizarre, again, apparently paradoxical effect to drugs? I take sleep meds along, you know, trying to combat the Trenbolone, which has me in this very tuned up, sympathetic drive activated kind of a brain state. At this dose, honestly, in the evenings, I'm basically manic. I think the reason that I'm making so much content right now is that my brain is just fucking humming all day long. And so I'm just experiencing extreme amounts of mania, and when I'm not in the gym, if I don't have something to pour myself into, then I just feel like my anxiety rising. And I don't feel comfortable sitting still. Like, I've tried going for walks around the block, trying to calm, you know, trying to like satiate this drive. And so sitting here and talking, just rambling to this camera seems to help. And so, so you've got all of this energy in your body already, and then taking caffeine on top of it is apparently the trick to calming myself enough so that I can go to sleep. It's just, I think I lost my train of thought there, but it's just unheard of. So I'm curious, like I said, am I the only person with this bizarre experience? Does anybody else have an experience with caffeine, whether it's alongside anabolics? Are you using caffeine to treat your ADHD? Like, what the fuck is going on here? I know some people in the comments have mentioned CBD. I do not react well to CBD or to I hate opiate, not opiates, cannabis. It's like 3 out of 10 times I'll have a really good time, and the other 7 out of 10 I'm just disassociated and paranoid and fucking totally miserable. So cannabis doesn't work. It's like, I just like uppers, man. And for some reason, apparently, I can now, in order to go to sleep at night, I think literally tonight I'm just gonna try it. Like, instead of waiting to confirm that everything is going wrong and I can't sleep, I think I'm literally gonna get in bed tonight after I sexually debrief my wife. I think I'm just gonna take an Ambien and drink a Red Bull along with a very healthy dose of Trenbolone and see if that doesn't knock me out in this fucking insane world that I seem to be living in. Does anybody have any sense of this at all? Please, as always in the comment section, tell me what the hell is going on, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. And maybe she's right. Maybe it's just my ADHD brain is being overly stimulated by the androgens, and it's just that the caffeine is sufficient enough to quiet the thoughts and not enough to actually stimulate me. And so it has sort of like an off-label, like, paradoxical effect of causing me to go to sleep. That's the only thing I can guess. Anybody else with this experience? Please, in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.